Today, we are learning basketball with Leader Johnson. He is a senior writer and analyst for NBA Draft Room, Villanova sports analyst for 24/7 Sports, publisher for High Level Sports, a writer and draft analyst for Draft Diamonds and Prep Hoops. He's covering basketball at every level, college, prep, pro. Man, great time to dive into Philly sports basketball. How you doing today, Leader?
I'm doing great, man. Always busy. Great doing sports. Good time, good year.
You already know. So, with all these different levels of scouting, I would love to hear a little bit about your journey and background, getting to where you are today, and just kind of how you got into scouting basketball and what your process kind of looks like.
I started in 2016, around the time Villanova got their first championship. And I started writing. My first guys I was writing for was Colin Gillespie, Dime Cosby Ramsey. They're my first two guys I was writing for. Eric Watkins saw me. I was always in Penn State recruiting, and he saw me, and the rest was history. Been doing this since 2016, and just kind of been a sports fanatic all my life. And then this, it's like I do every sport. Boxing. I'm just a sport guy. I'm there. So much high level sports, dash level sports. Y'all go there seeing me. Guys, pros, high school, college, I cover them all. 247 Sports, VU Sports, #1 complete all around Villanova sports. We do all sports, so many different recruits I do one-on-ones with. And it's just a lot of different guys who I have encountered and I have did my, covering with. And it's going to be a fun episode to cover a lot of things. Man, just go ahead and open up, man, whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought with all that, when you mentioned Penn State, and covering all sports, it's got to be nice having Saquon Barkley up in Philly now with that offensive line. I mean, that's a fun time for football fans, and just getting that talent behind that O-line. I mean, that's gonna be a great time to be a Philly fan coming off all that. And then the Nova Knicks come to mind too. Just any fun thoughts with kind of these Nova Knicks finally getting together, reunite in New York, just off the dome, kind of what they mean to the college program, and now getting to see it, in the NBA level?
Well, the thing about the New York Knicks, Villanova's always had a great culture. I mean, Jay Wright installed a culture that was contagious. And to see those guys do it, it's no surprise. They won 2 championships. Guys were very close. Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, actually, that probably hurt to even leave his fellas. It was a great like for them to play together. Guys like Amari Spellman's over in China dominating. Phil Booth won a championship overseas. The chef, shout out to Daniel Shefu and Chris Jenkins are my guy. Man, it's a good culture. So the Nova Knicks, what it did was increase the culture of winning, which Nova's about. Playing together, good defense, passing, 3-point shooting. Defense, passing, 3-point shooting. It's a culture that ever since Jay Wright left, Nova's been wanting again. Neptune did a solid job, but it's just that the winning was so contagious that, Nova fans, they're PA fans. These are some of the diehard sports fans out here, man. They go all out. So it's just good to see that. It's good to see it.
Yeah, and to that point, I think that two-way floor balance is what really stands out between those three, even with Dante, that just the identity in general of those Nova teams and these Knicks teams, just that balance of the defense, the two-way play that Mikel Bridges has as a defensive anchor, big wing, also a skilled scorer, and then Brunson and obviously Hart, really the soul of that more so than anything, just that hustle that represented. And speaking of Jay Wright, legendary coach there for years. How has the culture changed under Kyle Neptune's taking over as head coach, trying to replace like an all-time great? It can't be easy.
Well, if you look at that, now you got Coach Willard. He's there. This is how it goes. Neptune, Baker Dunley, Ashley Howard, guys like that, where it was a circle, right? And then you got Dwayne Anderson who came later, Mike Nardi, guys like that. George Halkovich was also part of that, and also Billy Lange along the early times. It was always a good recruiting staff. Billy Lange just signed with the Knicks, matter of fact, as assistant coach. That's interesting. Chemistry. But, that's what it's always about. Well, Neptune, he had it, but the coaching style, listen, you got to understand, when the coach comes in, he has his own formula. That's it. And he didn't have any losing season. He actually had a better season last season than any season he ever had. But people are impatient in PA. This is just how it is. Villanova is part of the big Philly culture. That they can say what they want. It's a Philly culture in basketball. They want to win. So that's all it was. And Neptune just got hired with Charlotte. He's not a bad guy. He had a great recruiting background, great respect in basketball. Coach Willard is a guy who's been there before. He's battled with Seton Hall. He brought him up to the tournament. He's battled with Merlin, brought him up to the tournament. So what you really know about his resume. Villanova's going to be okay. You're more in a comfortable position because he's had Big East play. He's done that. He's been there. So he's been in recruiting. Coach Norris, Greg Manning Jr., all those assistant coaches, David Cox, those guys are good. They have a name in Merlin. They have a name in New York. They have a name now. You keep Ashley Howard part of the staff. And now it's powerful because Ashley Howard's name in Pennsylvania is big. Jersey, DMV, so you keep the Nova culture there. So I just feel like it was a little too fast. And you're giving a person, Neptune had good success at Fordham. He did that year when he was 2-14, and they became 16-16 the next year, they were 500, and they won 2 games a year. But that's a lot of pressure to have a guy that hasn't even been to the tournament and expect him to be Jay Wright the first year. Kind of
right.
Super hard. Even though he was like Mr. Miyagi and Danielson, Neptune to Jay Wright. Very hard to get where Jay Wright was at. It took him a minute. You remember before he was winning championships, Villanova fans were impatient. And one of the guys let me know, one of the coaches, I won't say his coach, let me know they wanted his job. They wanted Jay Wright's job one time. It was like, he wasn't winning the championship. But when he finally won, everything was like real. Then he won 2 and 3. It was over. He was already a great coach. But, it's always pressure in sports. It's always pressure to win, especially in big markets like Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I think it's good right now. I really think it's a good culture right now.
Yeah, and Jay Wright became untouchable after that second ring. I remember he became like a coaching candidate for every big job out there at that point. He was rumored for the Magic at some point when they had an opening around that time, and ended up, I believe, going into broadcasting with CBS. But he lives, he's free in Philly for forever off of those titles.
I mean, he didn't want to coach no more. I think he really ran him away. The same thing that made Nick Saban not comfortable. When NIL came, you had to give those bags of money, and it wasn't just about you recruiting your culture because Jay Wright didn't even do the one and done thing. Everybody knows that. You come over there, you got to work for this and get out. And so now you got to put the bag on the table. It's different. You see all the transfers. He was used to the old style. Then people wanted him to go to the Knicks. Remember, he was like, "I'm not going to the Knicks. I don't want to." Now he don't want to do right now the broadcast, and he's doing a lot of background work. I mean, he's just done. That's a Hall of Fame career. He's done. He's been in the Olympics. He's done.
Yeah, and good point on Willard. He's coming off that season with Derek Queen. We got to highlight how great of a prospect he was. What do you expect this season for a couple upcoming prospects? We got Acaden Lewis and Nico Onyekwere. I've caught both of them live. They're both very exciting prospects. I love Acaden's game as like a pick and roll lefty. He's actually he shouted out Brandon Jennings as one of his favorite players, and I threw out a tweet at some point sharing that quote, and Brandon shared it as well. So I think they kind of at least got to connect through social media. I thought that was cool because that was just one of the first players I thought of when watching him down at the top 100 camp in 24. And he's a walking bucket who has good two-way feel, lefty point guard with a pull-up jumper, can hit the three, hit the midi, get to the rim, run your offense, really like Acaden. So he's a guy I'm probably higher than most on, but that's as a draft prospect. How do you think Acaden and Nico's role kind of look in year one under Coach Willard here?
Well, Acaden Lewis is the real deal. It's the real deal. He's it's unfortunate we committed to. We didn't get to get off, but all these guys have a chance to be here 1 year, don't like a situation and go. I like it. You know why I like it? Maybe one of the few because they get to go somewhere and play where they want to play. They get to get their money. I'm a little different on it. I know maybe you should say 2 years they stay and then they get to. But what if it's not good after 1 year? Listen, you just need to keep up with the Joneses. But on Acaden Lewis, 4-star. I mean, it was a great one hard thing to do. When the coach change, just get the guys leave. Guys not there. Dante Allen decommitted. and that's a Villanova legacy guy. You know, good guy, good family, Allen's son. But
he's big time,
Acaden,
Dante Allen, big time.
yes, no question, very good player. But getting Acaden Lewis, Christian Jeffrey, who was a Villanova target when Neptune was here, and then you sit there and you get Nico. Surprise. I talked to Nico for VU Sports. If you go to 247, look up Nico and Lito Johnson. I talked to him. He's only been playing since 2020 in February. He's only been playing. He's young, and so if you look at his skills, this is the thing to be excited about. He's just starting. He's just starting. He's just learning, and then he goes to Villanova. And he said he came over because of Coach Willard. He came because of Coach Willard and David Cox. Those are the guys who recruiting him. He started playing basketball because of the death of Kobe Bryant and because of Joel Embiid. So he's a guy that's trying to learn. That's two good names to say. He's 7'1", 7'1", and he's a guy that he's good, quick footwork. He's powerful on the inside. He has good moves in the post. Just think of it. He has a solid mid-range jumper. You see him, it's a solid. He's only learning. With that type of athletic ability, it is a lot to be excited about. Let's see how this gets developed. We can, but if I make a projection, if he plays 10 minutes a game, but that's not a definite. But at 10 minutes a game, he's going to give you 5, 3, and 1 blocks, and that's good enough. Good high percentage. You need that 7'1" size. Villanova has size now. Braden Pierce, got Duke Brennan at 6'10". You really got it's really fortunate that how the recruiting is going. Because like I said, they got Nico, got Acaden, they got Christian Jeffrey. Malachi Palmer was also a target. Very talented guy. That's a guy to be excited about. Malachi Palmer is going to put his name out there. Just watch him. That's all I'm going to say. Got to be excited about. And you look at them getting Devin Askew. Devin Askew was a Villanova target. They got him now after all those years being an experienced point guard. You talk about Acaden, who's going to start at point guard? Acaden, it's either going to be Devin or Acaden. I say experience. But regardless, Acaden going to get started minutes. They are into Acaden Lewis. You're going to see Acaden Lewis get down. It's not going to bring him up slow. Plus, Willard's into playing young players. If you're ready, go. Let's go. That's why they recruited like this. They didn't want to recruit vets and all that. You know, Neptune was into getting vets, guys that either into getting a young guy so they can stay a couple of years. Bryce Lindsey, stay a couple of years. You know, you look at Zion Stanford, come from Temple, do his thing. I mean, this is a very talented team. And why this is a good team, because you got young guys that are just getting their talent on. You got NBA potential. I think Acaden Lewis is a first-round talent. Top 20, you milk it out, and Willard's going to milk it out. You look at Rodney Rice, what he did over there. Look at Gillespie, what he did over there. Look at Derek Queen, his
Gillespie was really impressive.
Yeah, if you look at Derek Queen his first year, right?
Yeah. You
should be excited about Matthew Hodge second year. You should be excited about Matthew Hodge. Matthew Hodge is going to have a good year. Just watch out for him. Villanova's going to surprise people. I say they'll finish third in their Big East. You know, St. John's is very, very tough. UConn is always tough, and then Marquette gives me something. But Villanova is ready. Georgetown's a sleeper too, but Villanova is ready. Will it know what to do? He knows what to do. He knows what to do. He just came from the tournament. Neptune didn't just come from the tournament. That's a lot of pressure. I give a shout out to Neptune. Good job, solid job. But what they were asking was too much to require. You had to have patience. I think he should have got one more year. Then you make your evaluation after the year he had. So, like I said, asking about Willard, we in great hands. You give the keys to a guy who was doing it. He was just doing it. Right. You know, he brought guys over from Maryland, right? How many guys did Neptune bring over from Fordham?
I'm guessing
that's the thing. That's what I'm telling you. Like, it's a difference right now. That's all it is. I mean, Neptune was at Fordham. He was at Fordham, and that was a great job he did. They had 2 wins. They had 2 wins. So like I said, it's a good team to look at. And Nico, my thing is, what are they going to do about the time? They have a lot of big men now. So are they going to give him the time, or are they going to bring him? How are they going to bring him along? But what it looks like is he's a guy of Willard's. That's Willard's guy. He wants to develop him. Christian Jeffrey, those are his guys. So they come over here because of him. So it's going to be interesting to see Villanova playing with size. That's going to be interesting. And they got guards. They got 4. Tyler Perkins is there. Bryce Lindsey, Christian Jeffrey, Devin Askew, and Kalen Lewis. They got guards with big men. This is interesting. And he can coach. Everybody look at this. Willard can coach. Look at his record. So it's going to be exciting.
For sure. That, like you said, bringing over experienced coach, proven at this level, especially for a place that has high expectations of winning now, not taking time to rebuild. Like, it's tough. Like you said, like, you got to give a coach time to rebuild a program from scratch if they're starting over. And, certain programs have a little longer timetable for that sort of thing than others. And totally with you on Acaden. Like, I agree. I think he could end up late lottery, like 15 to 20 range as a first round pick. Like, I really am with you on that, especially like let's not forget, like, he was such a high recruit. Like, he had his pick of the litter. Like, he could have gone Duke, UNC, Kentucky, and there's different factors, whether it's money, whether it's opportunity. But do you think it's the opportunity here to like really get this playing time on a big stage is why he ended up with Villanova? And then I'm with you on Nico as well. Like, I caught him Sunshine Classic. Dante Allen was actually in that event. But with Luhai, but he was just a brute force big, showed a lot of what you want for defensive mobility, like strong around the rim, defensive footwork, mobile versatility, and then soft touch at the rim as well. So like a modern big man in that sense of just his two-way mobility. So a lot to like out of Nico, especially, paired with Willard, who just got Derek Queen, such a great kind of like production leading to the draft pick there. And lastly, any thoughts on Eric Dixon bringing his 3-point shooting to the Lakers, playing off Luka?
Well, one thing I want to say about we talked about Nico. We talked about he develops young talent. We're gonna leave it at this. He's good at developing young talent. Look what he just did with Rodney Rice, who just got a $2 million deal each year at USC. That's why he didn't come to Nova. Anybody want to know why he didn't come to Nova? It was the money. $2 million a year. $2 million.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are incentivized to just stay in school almost more so than get drafted in the later picks at a certain point.
I mean, if you think about who you're going to be, right? And the draft is coming up. You're going to get this money now. You're not promised to get this money at the next level. Rodney Rice, shout out to his father, good family, but draft stock, because I'm into the draft, and there's no being drafted right now. He's not on the being drafted list right now, but he has the talent to shoot and all that. So you're thinking about that. He'll get a G League contract, so think about that contract. The minimum, around $250,000, to have the league minimum. You're not getting $1 million. You can get two-way contracts, Exhibit 10 contracts. That's what but so if you can get your millions now, you get your millions now. That's what all the prophets are doing. So if you're looking at you say we're looking at Villanova and you're talking about where he will be in the draft, I think it helps his stock. It helps his stock being here with a guy. Look where Derek Queen went. Nobody was saying Derek Queen was going to be a lottery pick from high school. As talented as he was. No, we talk about draft board.
He was mocked a little later. Yeah, I'm with you. He was probably mocked a little later, like late lottery, 20s, maybe, if anything. I'm with you on that. And like with the Switch Theory team specifically, that team of draft scouts, like that's the one I'm a part of, was very high on him as the cycle went on. But I'm with you, like early season, before preseason, like he wasn't, projected top 10.
Look how he looked in the season. He looked ready, man. Look at Rice. Look at the young
unique talent, for sure.
So you got a coaching staff that can develop young players. That's key. And so they want to come with Willard. You know why? Because he can get you to the NBA. He can get you to the NBA. So on that point, no question about that.
That's the promise. And then Eric Dixon, I threw in there. I hit you with 3 questions at once. I try not to do that too often, but Eric Dixon, knockdown 3-point shooter, had an amazing Villanova season as well at that level, and then gets picked up late. I'm not sure if he was drafted or maybe a late 2-way contract with the Lakers there, but you got to love a spot up shooter next to LeBron and Luka.
I do high level sports. I do a prospect room review, and where I put Eric Dixon is one of the top 10 most NBA ready players. Let me say this right now. Listen, Eric Dixon should have been drafted. Eric Dixon has been ready since high school, Abington. Shout out to the Dixon family, great family, developed the heck out of them. I remember Ashley Howard was on the phone and was telling me we want Justin Moore and Eric Dixon. One of these two guys in that class, and they developed him good. He came and he led college and scoring. And he still was efficient everywhere. It's a difference if you score, right, and you're not efficient. But when you score and you're efficient and you're 6'7", 255, you lost weight to be quicker. I just think that's one of the guys that they slipped on. And he's going to be a good player. Once he gets around, then you're around winning. You don't have the pressure of being that player in LA. You can develop around guys like Luka, LeBron, learn. So I think it was a good position for him. I remember when I was talking to Eric before he came back to know guys like Utah and San Antonio were working them out, NBA pre-draft camps. It's like he's a guy they know is good. And I think that was just I don't know, that was it's one of those hit and misses. This guy, what he didn't do? You know what didn't happen? Nova didn't win. If Villanova won and went to the tournament, that happens with draft stocks. It does. I mean, if you don't get your if you're projected to be a draft somewhere in the high school, right, and you're in the lottery, pre-draft, if you don't come out and meet when they expect you to be in the lottery, the next year you could be out of the whole draft. Look at Monty Bates. Monty Bates was, oh my God, generational, crazy. And then 1 year, look at Mackie Williams now. Like, that's not going to be the same as Sacramento State. He's going to really have to earn that. He might just get a two-way. I really hope he does it over there with Shaquille O'Neal and all that. But when you don't meet, which is when you're supposed to be that guy, Justin Edwards, DJ Wagner. Let's look at these guys that were projected as top. But when you don't meet your mark, when they pre-draft you, then the confidence in you goes all the way down. Like, because another crop is coming. And they predicted them to be somewhere. And then now they're saying where you go, oh, you ain't in this mark. We predicted you to be this. So it's real hard. So Eric Dixon was a fifth-year senior. So what do you know how that's going to go? If you don't have no winning, it's going to be different. It's going to be different. I think he'll be okay, though. You'll see how he goes. He's 6'7", 255. This is a three-point game, so he's going to do that. Hard worker, Villanova culture. He'll get it. Like Sadiq Bey did. He'll get it.
Yeah, there it is. And it made me think of someone we might hit on with the Sixers a little bit, Johni Broome, who was also kind of an older, proven scorer at the college level. However, Auburn, was competing for the national title. They won a lot of their games, and maybe some of that award racing, the winning program of it all, boosted his draft stock up a little bit. When you could argue they're both kind of like win now, ready-made forwards that could hit the three ball and score a little bit. And for some reason, when you mentioned his efficiency, it reminded me of George Gervin. Something he takes pride on is his ability to score efficiently, and it reminds me of this quote. He had, I was looking it up here while you were finishing that quote there, George Gervin, the passion for the game. I was confident that I could play. I mean, I knew I could play. Nobody had to tell me that I could play. I wasn't caught up in somebody saying, you're this or you're that. You look at my work, you look at my stats. I know a couple of years I was the most efficient player in the league. I shot 51% in my career, getting 26,000 something points. Most of them guys that's up there in that same category, they shot 30 times to get 30 points. And somebody called me and said, man, he got 30 tonight. How many times did he shoot? 35? Okay, so he was a gunner. I was efficient. For myself, it tells its own story. So it's just like this confident swagger about his efficient scoring. And he has a lot of different quotes about that, about, there might be somebody that scores 5 or 10 more points per game in the ABA or back then in the 70s and 80s. But, he was getting 25 over 50% efficiency. Like, no one could stop him. Like, he could have, started chucking to score more. But just want to give a shout to the Iceman while we're here, while it's fresh in mind. And, Eric Dixon's knockdown 3-point shooter. I'm with you. I think a great chance to get to show off his skill set where he's not going to be asked to do too much. Just space the floor for open threes off of Luka and LeBron, and then get to maybe attack closeouts off of that.
He'll get to learn. Shout out to the Iceman, George Gervin. Great. But Iceman, George Gervin, people didn't know, he played with Julius Erving in the ABA. They were on the same team. It's crazy.
That's why. The Virginia Squires, right?
Get right. There you go. Crazy, man. Crazy to see that. The ABA actually was as I always say, I just want to say that Dr. J is the reason, more of a trendsetter than people think. The NBA didn't like three-point shooting, didn't like dunking. Who did? Who allowed it? The ABA. You know why? Because they wanted to sign Dr. J. So they said, okay, we're going to let you dunk. We're going to let everybody dunk. And then we're going to add something more exciting, the three-point shot. So Dr. J is the one to people talk. Listen, he don't get enough credit for being a trendsetter. So I just wanted to bring that up. We came to George Gervin, so I had to go into all that. One thing,
you're right. My dad's favorite player, like growing up, Dr. J is from Philly as well. Watching him, the greatest dunker before Jordan, the guy that did the free throw line dunk contest before Jordan did it. Like he was bigger than life.
People was on top of buildings to see this man. He was my pop favorite player.
Yeah, there it is. I mean,
friend, my pop used to say he was the first NBA superstar ever. That's what he used to say. Julius Erving was the first. He said when he got $1 million deal, it was the biggest thing ever. It was like $1 million. So it was crazy. But yeah, no question about how we talking basketball here. We talk about Julius Erving and George Gervin, Johni Broome. High Level Sports. Go to high-levelsports.com. I did my prospect room review. He's one of the most NBA ready players to me too. Top 20 NBA ready players, Johni Broome. But the surprise was the 3-point shot. In the summer league, he was hitting his 3-point shot so efficient. If he can hit that, if they knew he could hit that in the pre-draft shot like that, I guarantee you he wouldn't have slipped where he got to. He was hitting that shot. So they got to steal. And I liked him anyway when they drafted him when he didn't hit it efficient. The man can rebound, good footwork, plays basketball the right way, and plays tough. You know who he remind me of? He's not going to be him, no. But I'm talking about by his athletic ability and how he moves and how tough he plays and how smart. Tim Duncan. He did athletic. Tim Duncan was not athletic. Tim Duncan played the right way. He dominated at Wake Forest. He had good moves. But Johni Broome's not going to be Tim Duncan. It's two different forces, two different basketball players. But the way he plays, experience, knows how to play the game, does other things besides score. When he doesn't have the ball in his hands, he plays. So I think he was a real good pickup for the Sixers.
Right. To your point, methodical, big fundamental, like knows how to play the game, plays winning ball, team first ball, like does all the little things you want your power forward to do, and has a little bit of that throwback power forward to him. And this is a great transition to the Sixers here. They're able to pick up Broome, who, had a case for National Player of the Year next to Cooper Flagg. It is that high level of a player and really another great like landing spot for a win now player, because I think the Sixers are one of the most like high-low volatile teams this next year where they could, if everything goes right, I think they're a sleepy contender if they stay healthy. But we saw how everything can go bad last year. So, with VJ Edgecombe and Broome now as kind of the offseason rookie haul and any other little changes, what are the vibes like just bringing in those two guys in Philly right now and kind of expectations? Like, is everyone healthy? Is everyone good to go to start the season?
Okay, we're talking Sixers. It's good. Good to talk Sixers. Time, because we all know Embiid's video just came out. It's a lot that came out about. Let's start at the top. Embiid does look good. Embiid has lost weight. Embiid's flying the rain. It looks healthy. Know when he's going to come back, but the way you're looking, it's not even a question. It'll be sooner than people think. What you said was right. If anything can go wrong for a team, it's injuries, and that's the worst thing. Your first three best players, like
to that point, I got a stat for you. You got Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Jared McCain only played 19 minutes together on the floor last season. That's it. Now the top three crept up to about 200 minutes, which still isn't a ton, but those 19 minutes, just to show like how little available all four of them were at the same time, if at all.
It's not enough. It's not enough, man. Especially when you're playing your first year. All those minutes is not enough. When you're playing your first year, then not only do you got the top three guys haven't played together enough, you got everybody else. I mean, Kelly Oubre, you got other guys. They were trading everybody. They were bringing like the elementary school basketball to come play basketball. I think once he recognized nobody was healthy, he said, let's go for this lottery. Let's go for it. Everybody sit. Let's not try. It's not going. So I think that was a blessing in disguise. But let's talk about the team. If they are healthy, VJ Edgecombe, let me just say this name on VJ Edgecombe. Let's just talk about this guy. In the last 2 years, Jared McCain last year, when he got drafted where he was there, I said, they're crazy. Man was a 5-star point guard, played in the, like, are they crazy? Like, he's drafted right there. The Philadelphia definitely got to steal. Everybody was like, no, he can't. He's not shooting good in the summer league. I said, what? Only thing you look for in this, Only thing you look for in the summer league is how many shots is he hitting? Is he comfortable? You're looking at your young players or guys to make the team. The fact that he was trying those shots and still scoring a double figure should have told you about this 18-year-old guy. This man was efficient in college at 40%. Why are y'all mad? Like, why are y'all saying this when Tyrese Maxey coming out of high school shot like 30% from the three-point line? LaMelo Ball overseas, oh my God. So when they get to the NBA, but they're different, right? It's a different game. They just want to get their game in, and then when they get in the NBA game, here we go. That's how these young bucks think. That's it. So I didn't worry at all about Jared McCain. I thought he was a rookie of the year if he wouldn't have got hurt. I thought he was that. And we're talking about VJ. VJ's for real, man. He was a Villanova target. And they didn't get to get him. Everybody was after him. If he was a number 3 guy in the country, number 5 by some recruiting boys. Man, VJ, the thing about him is that he's the second best two-way player in that draft. That was the Cooper flag. I mean, he's unbelievable with them hands, man. He just knows how to block you. His vertical is nasty, like for his size. And I didn't think, okay, this is what slept past me. I didn't think he was this ready. If you looked at those games in the summer, he treated people like his sons, blocking people. He was passing on them. He was picking shots, not just 3-pointers. He was picking the good mid-range jumpers. He was confident. He looked like he's ready, confident, and he looked like he played. When I was wowed by him was when he played in the Bahamas overseas. That's when I was wowed by him. I didn't see the same. I saw the same wow, but it was at Baylor. You saw it, but it wasn't like, because when you play overseas, it's different. Like you're playing against other players. He looked real good. He looked the same in the summer league. Like I said, this guy shouldn't be in the summer league. Sit him right now. After the first game, I said, sit him right now. He's ready. And when the Sixers get to them guys, to your point, when they all get healthy, what they have to understand is they have to develop a process or a format when Joel Embiid is not healthy. Every team. When LeBron James is not healthy, what are you going to do? When your main player is not healthy, if it's Guinness or whatever, you have to get a lineup of people that are ready. And they have guys around them. I like Trendon Watford. Been known since high school. Good pickup. Very good pickup. Got Johni Broome right next to him. Kelly Oubre, I've been hearing trade rumors. Yes, that's true. He's not happy. Yes, he's not happy. I don't know what's going on. Who knows? But they're probably going to trade because Philadelphia's moving into the future realm. Justin Edwards. Steele. I've told everybody. Steele. They must be stupid. He was a top 3 recruit. You don't draft him in the 2nd round?
Right.
Crazy. Now it's different because people don't know how to judge talent and prospects, because guys come out so early that they're looking at guys and like but some agents, you know what they're doing? An agent's going to come to you. They're going to be like, listen, they're going to tell you everything you want to hear to make you want to leave because doing it's big on them. It's big on them. They got a guy that went to the NBA, got a G League contract. They're not telling you that, no, man, you might not get drafted. No, you know what? They're telling you all the good stuff. So when you don't get drafted, it's a surprise. They might tell you G League is an option, like you might not get drafted. But you know what? The Lakers at 20 said they were going to take you. Or this, listen, these guys are getting bad advice from some guys. There's a lot of good people out there giving good advice. But I'm telling you, it's real hard sometimes to judge them because you don't know how to judge young talent. It's really hard. And Justin Edwards, great get. Got him with Maxey. You got him with Jared McCain, BJ Edgecombe. Then you got Johni Broome. Young guys are coming. Bona looks good. Bona looks, especially defensively, he looks like a Ben Wallace. Reminds me of Ben Wallace, man. Paul George that's a key. I don't think he needs to average 25. I think Paul George needs to, and this is realistically 18, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, be efficient. Because you got Joel Embiid around. You got Tyrese Maxey around. All these guys need to score. McCain, they all need to score. He can score 24 or 30 sometime, but if this is the team he's coming to as an older player to be the main guy to score, this is a bad team. No, we need him because George can still defend you 1 through 4. He can defend that. He can still score. You saw him dunk on people. You saw him go past people. You saw him have a 30-point game, but we don't need to have the pressure of him scoring 28 a game, 25 a game. No, we don't need that. We need him to be there to fall back from between 18 and 21. 18, 21 at the highest. We need Embiid to be there. We need Maxey to take that step. We need McCain to be for real. And all VJ got to score is 15 a game. If McCain give me 15 this year, and if VJ give me 15 this year, that is a successful team. That is a successful team right there. You got, VJ coming in, McCain coming in, Maxey give you 28, Embiid give you 28, Paul George give you 18 between 21, and this team plays defense. The power forward position has to be sound. Wofford, like I say, watch out for Wofford. Good breakout year last year, 10 points a game. He's starting to come into his zone. He played with Maxey. They were both high school All-Americans. They both played together. They're good friends, very good friends. They meet each other. They were excited. It was like Devontae Smith meeting John Mechie. They were real good friends. So that's good for the chemistry. Is always good for the locker room. It's always good for the locker room, and so it's good to have them one day as players. And this is going to be. What do I think they'll be? If I had to tell you, if they're healthy, man, they're championship contenders. This is not even. What are we talking about? If Embiid plays, and I'm gonna tell you how many games, because this people all they're thinking there. Everybody's like, how many? If Embiid plays 72 games, or if he plays 67, at the less 67, between 67 and 72, we're talking. That's all we need. I mean, it's 82 games in the season for people, basketball people who are on it with us. If he plays 65 games, man, listen, you have to develop something when he's not there. You have to do that. Like Drummond's also in trade rumors. As people are saying too. Andre Drummond. We'll see what happens. Because Adam Boner I kind of expected that. Boner's kind of elevated. So, but I just feel like they'll get there. I mean, who's going to beat them in the East? The way the East went down this year, this was crazy. Like I just think Embiid is still the most dominating player, singly the most dominating player in the league. Like this guy, you give him the ball, there's nothing he can't do. And he was working on his passing the year before he got hurt. I mean, not last year, but the year before, he was the best passing season of his career. So he's just, the scary part is he's getting better. He just has to be healthy. And then he came out when he said the Sixers kind of handled the situation, injury wrong. And so now it just seems like the way he's moving in practice, he got the right direction, because I've never seen him look slim like that. He looked like Jordan Davis being slim. Like, what's going on? Like, it's like he looks good. He looks good. Look at the clips. It's not Paul George is working out. And if you doubt Paul George, this man came off an ankle injury that should have ended his career. Should have ended it. It was ugly. If anybody seen that, go look it up. It was ugly. He was like, I've never seen a foot look like that. And he came back. He was still playing All-Star. So you can't doubt this man. And you can't say old players, because we got Kevin Durant and LeBron James. They're different. This is a different generation. These guys are evolved. There's better trainers. For all the people back in the old school were talking, you didn't have trainers like this. Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, they had guys like this. They still, listen, believe me, they'd be better. Patrick Ewing, they would have played longer. Hakeem Olajuwon, Moses Malone, Shaquille O'Neal. Listen, it's just different, and guys are playing. Durant ain't gonna play for long. Durant's on his last, hurrah. But these guys are different. Not every old player can play this like this. These guys are special. And Paul George is one of those guys. We have a good guy that people like to play with, and he's determined because Philly got on him. The city got on Paul George live. Even Gilly the Kid got on him. He was talking bad on his own show. Like, he was like, "What you don't?" It's not the town you really. I say about Ben Simmons. To me, the biggest draft bust ever. I'm sorry. I mean, but that's my opinion. He had a great. I mean, nobody had more of a higher ceiling and didn't reach it than Ben Simmons in NBA draft history. That I'm trying to really think. There wasn't Oliver Candy. Oliver Candy, whatever. Nobody believed in Bennett. I'm just trying to be. I'm trying to be not nobody believed. Let me stop sounding harsh, but that was
Ben's up there. Ben's up there for that. That's for sure. I mean, he was billed as like the next Penny or something, or like a little bit of magic or something like that. That's high expectations. So when you come to Philly, it's the most pressure, especially the Sixers, to play to be a superstar. Ask Markel Fultz, because I think that was the bad Philly. You shouldn't have. Come on, man. You put the pressure on this young man, and he's in a city where he better do good. It's too much. And to that point with Paul George, I think you made a good point, especially with a lot of good points there, especially with Paul George, and what they really are asking from him. Like the thing with the Clippers was like, it almost seemed like they needed him to still be superstar Paul George every night. But I think what you're getting to is they don't need that scoring output necessarily from every night when you have these electric 3-point shooters and in the backcourt between Maxey and McCain, and then obviously a dynamic MVP level big when he's healthy, Joel Embiid, who, as you point out, is still as impactful and dominant as any player in the league when he's actually available for the full season, and he's looking like peak form. So maybe we get peak Embiid. Hopefully, a lot of the award chasing races is out of the way now, and it's focused kind of like you said to kind of just stretch it out to that 67 game mark, so he's ready for the playoffs and fully healthy at that point as well. Like that's probably the goal there. And what stands out first when they made that pick with Edgecombe is he's the ultimate Daryl Morey pick. First of all, like a defensive analytics darling with a knockdown 3-point shot. But to your point, like I really love his maturity for his age. He had that great post-draft moment telling his story about his hardship growing up with his family and how much this means to him. And you can just kind of tell that grind is like buried deep within him to just improve every day. And you love to see that in a player, like achieve his dreams and kind of just get started all at once. But just basketball wise, I love the idea of simply VJ Edgecombe's like downhill slashing attack paired with these shooters of Maxey, McCain, George, even Embiid from three. Like you can very much see a different dynamic kind of downhill north-south force bending the defense a little more in Edgecombe that this team didn't necessarily have before. And it just pairs so well where you could kind of have a 3-guard rotation with those 3 youngsters. And one other thing is you pointed out a lot of the great youth. This team, you might think the Sixers are full of like veterans that are used to play on the Rockets with Daryl Morey 10 years ago, but it's really just a couple of those names now. You go up and down the roster, there's a ton of young talent here that is good to take a flyer on to kind of see if you can find some long-term rotation players to fill out the rotation. Like even some guys on 2 ways, like Barlow and Salas, and then Igor Milicic can hit the 3-point shot. Just some nice like flyers on young prospects just to see who fits, see if anyone pops in this rotation long-term. I think it's a good mix of veterans with playoff experience that fit well in the identity of the team, and then prospects that, a mix of young core guys that are clearly a part of the future, flyers on other guys that could be. Broome provides, we hit on a little bit of that win now role player rookie aspect in the front court that, maybe Paul George goes down for a few games and you can throw Broome out there, who's probably going to be as ready as any other rookie would be in that spot. So that's kind of why you draft him there, to not replace Paul George, but just bring a little bit of that all-around impact winning style of play, just being able to plug and play to fight injuries. But I totally agree. The biggest question mark is still, how do they survive without Embiid in those minutes, in those injuries? And Drummond probably isn't the answer there. Small ball with Broome would be tough. So I think that does remain as the last question mark. But I imagine, like, when from maybe Daryl Morey or the front office point of view, they're thinking if Embiid goes down, we don't have much of a fighting chance anyway. So maybe that's why how quick that it can go to hitting that like big red button to tank like last year, where they just give up on all of it. But at a certain point, you would think maybe the team starts like picking a direction, and that direction is the youth because of all the young talent. Like, do you think that's on the horizon, or this is just kind of Embiid's team until he doesn't want it anymore?
Embiid, it's always a back and forth with Embiid, Maxey's team. I've heard Kendrick Perkins, I've heard Stephen A. Smith. It's Embiid's team till he goes.
Yeah.
Maxey is definitely, let's just be like, I understand what they're calling for is Maxey to step up as their other guy, like to be that guy. Cause like I said, it has to be somebody. Ryan, it got to be somebody that steps up. And with these guys they have, they could, Jared McCain, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey all create their own shot, hit 3-pointers, and play defense. These guys can all be stars. This was a lucky pick of the litter that these guys came up on. They looked at their situation they had. If they got a certain round think it was top 7. It went to 7. Philadelphia with it unprotected. So I guess Morey looked at it like, okay, let's go for this pick and just whatever with the next draft. But let's go for this pick and add a lottery talent, a top 3 talent at that, to this team. I just think that was big. I think BJ Edgecombe is going to be surprised. He's going to be excited. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the stand-on contest. He's exciting, man. He really is exciting. And Jared McCain can shoot on anybody. Don't see his rookie season? Like this he is confident. And then Tyrese Maxey, come on. Remember the year, 50 points. He had 350. But we talking about the same listen. Tyrese Maxey, they're waiting for their next step. That's what the Sixers want. And we need to have, when Embiid is not there, all 3 of them guys step up, or at least 2 out of 3 that can win us games. That's what we're looking for. The guys that can win us games. Not that you're just good, you can just score. When Embiid is gone, are we still gonna win games? They can't have Embiid gone and it's like, that's it. Because Embiid can play. Embiid has showed he's tried to play. Embiid played almost blind against the Knicks. Like Embiid was like, I mean, Embiid has played hurt. There's nothing they can say about Embiid. When people talk about him getting restrictions, he's played through stuff. It's time to like save him. You know what I'm saying? Like the Eagles need to save Barkley's carries. There's a lot of carries last year. He did his thing. You got to start like that. You want him to play. Somebody has to step up. We need 3 guys. And I'm talking about 1 guy. We need guys that are there to depend on when the main guy is hurt. Or we're not going to be the championship winning team. That's just it. If they just come and just contribute, then that's not a championship team. You don't need to just contribute. You need to add to it. It's guys when Tim Duncan was out, you had Ginobili, you had Parker, they had other guys that would then they developed Kawhi Leonard. They were developing young players as their other guys came up. That's how they became a team. You know, you got Draymond, you got Klay Thompson and Curry, then you got Draymond in. Then Iguodala comes off the bench. They got a good bench. If your main 3 are guys that can win you a game, then your surrounding cast, you make all of them better. So they just need to develop other guys you can depend on. That's it.
Yeah, and you know, as far as the scoring goes, to your point, and the shooting, like I do think that it looks good on paper. Like even if you lose Embiid, you still have a Paul George, Maxey, McCain that can go get you 20 to 25, depending on the matchup, maybe pop for 30 on any given night. And I think having 4 of those guys, let alone VJ as well, but 4 of those guys that any of them could pop for 20 plus on a night, any given night, depending on the matchup and who's hot. That does give you a little leeway where, you know, they have a little bit of scoring and shooting when one of these guys is missing. And like any team, once you start having 2 or 3 marquee players missing, it's going to be tough to overcome. And I think roster wise, it's really just like kind of the defensive anchor aspect. Like, can they protect the rim and get stops really just when Embiid's not there? Because their defense should be elite, as you're saying. The scoring and shooting versatility should be elite. They have the personnel and the coaching staff to get it done. So it's really, to me, that's the main question of like, can you find a versatile backup 5 to kind of like hold your own as everyone else handles the scoring? And maybe it's Adam Bona.
You said an interesting thing about some guys in the G League. There's 2 guys who I just say watch out for to come up. They're going to come up and get some time. Dominique Barlow, and Barry Walker. 2 guys played. They got them in the G League. These 2 guys have NBA experience. They've actually, you know, played. They didn't play Barlow that much in summer league. The 1 game they played was good. You see why they took him out? They didn't even play Jabari Walker in the G League. They're big in these guys, and I think they want to have They got Trenton Watford. There's 3 guys. Then you got Bona. He can play. So I think they know about that front court position. They want to get more power there. And like I said, BJ Edgecombe now might have a little bit more pressure than everybody else because it's top 3 pick. So I'm thinking he's going to score 15 until I don't see it. He's a top. Listen, you're top 3 pick. The pressure's on. This is what I said today. As much I love his story. Great family, strong mother. Now you're in the NBA on the floor. And one thing I'm definitely going to say, at top 3, I'm expecting nothing but immediate impact. Nothing but immediate impact. I didn't even
hit. Sorry for cutting you off. I was just say his athleticism. I almost didn't even really highlight, but like this guy is one of the uber athletes. The moment he walks in the NBA, where he might not be quite a Thompson twin level athlete, but it kind of feels like that moment in the draft where the moment he walks in the NBA, he's one of the top 10 athletes already, whether it's jumping, blocking, vertical, help defense, that two-way instincts for steals, getting downhill with the quick first step.
He's definitely a Thompson level. What? Listen.
There it is. There it is.
You talking about athletic? We talking about athletics. This man is 6'4". The things he can do, he could jump. Okay. Does anybody remember when he, jumped on over a man's head? No, he didn't get the jump. His balls in face. Everybody, it was a dead body on the court. This man was a freshman. He was a freshman. Like, that was crazy. That dunk is crazy.
It was nasty.
You don't recognize, because I don't think the guy under him recognized he was going to jump that. I don't think he believed he could jump that high, because you don't think, when you see a guy, you think you got him, and you tall too, you're like, oh, I got him. When he jumped up high, amazed. If you see that replay, he looked at him like he was Superman. Like, what is this going on right now? And then by the time he realized it could move, it was too late. This guy's going to be good. He's going to be good. And I'm expecting it. I just think he's ready to do it. I think out of all the guys in that draft class, you got Cooper. Shout out to the Flag family, Miss Kelly Flag, everybody. VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson. These guys are ready right now. Right now. I mean, I really love, no question. I'm forgetting one more, guys. Cooper, Dylan. These guys are ready right now. And San Antonio, that's unfair. But anyway, just want to shout that out. Unfair. Greg Popovich is unfair, man. That's crazy what he got in the last couple of years. That's unbelievable, man. Oh my God. Oh my God.
There we go. There's the dunk for you. Boom.
You know what? Then look at him before he make the dunk. You don't even think he's going to jump that high, man. Like when he broke away, you just didn't think he was going to get over him like that. The elevation. Now, you saw how he did in Summer League, right? He was making Summer League. He was making dunks and something, and they was like light work. He wasn't like, it was like light work. He was doing it with no ease, coming up off his feet with no ease. Just imagine when he gets in the game, when the season starts, and he gets motivated. And people are not going to have him on their playbooks yet. They're not going to have him on the playbooks yet of how to stop him or even know him yet. So that's why it's always good about a first-year player. They don't know you yet. So, my God, it's going to be something good. And Nick Nurse, one thing I can say about him, he knows how to develop young talent. He really does. He knows how to play young talent. And I think with him under Nick Nurse is the big yes. It's the big yes.
There you go. And, yeah, I agree. He is shown a lot of versatility as a coach, both being able to win now with that Raptors team and also develop Siakam back then as well, and different guys along the way.
Excuse me, I gotta say Quinn Grimes posted on everybody going crazy. I don't know, everybody, they want Quinn Grimes. He is a priority. They get him. They add something demon-like to their. Listen, Quentin Grimes comes. He's another young 5-star out of college. Was recruited by Kansas. We ended up going to Houston. Quentin Grimes can play. You saw what he do. If they get him, I forgot all about that. They get him.
That'd be big.
We talking now. That's other scores. That's another score besides Embiid. You got Grimes. You got Maxey. You got VJ. You got Jared. There's 4 guys that can light you up. They can light you up. So it's all about coaching after that. All about coaching.
And VJ, I've been impressed by his development curve, like just how quickly he's developed. Like I from his time at Baylor, for instance, I thought it was kind of a crowded backcourt, a little bit of a mismatch maybe in fit. It seemed like VJ was at his best when some of the guys maybe got hurt throughout the year, and when Roach didn't play quite as much, it seemed like VJ took over a little bit more opportunity with the ball in his hands. But I think his feel for the game, the game has been slowing down for him. The feel has improved. His decision making of when to drive, when to Euro step into traffic, when to kick. It just seemed like it got better as the Baylor season went on. And that 3-point shot as well, became less and less of a question mark. And obviously it's just one college season, but I think, it was an impressive development there. And then, as you said, like he was playing with grownups with the Bahamas overseas. Like Eric Gordon was on that team, I think. So he gets he gets to play with Gordon again here in Philly. It's kind of a fun little cross match, but he was like the best player on those Bahamas teams, and he was like 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm sorry, excuse me. He played with Buddy Hield. He played with DeAndre Ayton. I mean, listen, he played with NBA players. He played with guys that have
He's a real deal.
He amazed me in there. Like that. That's when he like. I mean, I saw him in AAU. I saw him play with Long Island. If anybody knows, he played. Yes, he did play with Carmelo's son over there. He played with Nico but those guys, he was ahead of them. So he didn't play on the same starting lineup. Nico played with Kanye and Anthony this past year. And also Nico said that really helped him out playing with Kanye, getting them for the NBA. So y'all go to VA Sports, see that interview. But no, man, I mean, it's really big for VJ. I just think with this team in particular, Nick Nurse likes to play defense, and like to pass. And he's ahead. What you want to have in your rookie, at least your first year player, is a guy who's ready to go into the fire. I think he's ready. I think he's not going to be intimidated. I think he's going to want to compete. And man, one thing that should get you hype, if anything, when the Sixers get their rookies, these guys have been doing good. When Maxey came, did his thing. McCain, Bonus looked good. Edwards looked good. So you should be happy about seeing VJ Edgecombe. You should be happy about seeing VJ Edgecombe. If you were happy about that progress, you should be excited. Like, man, I mean, VJ, he's the real deal, man. I think what made him over Ace Bailey, if anybody know that situation, I'm pretty sure everybody know that Ace Bailey pretty much willed his way to where he was at. He wanted to play for Washington, and he was trying to play for Washington, and Danny Ainge said, "You ain't my boss," and he drafted him. So, and he was smart, though. Ace Bailey is he's a generational scorer. I wanted Ace Bailey, but man, what better to get VJ? Like it was. I think Daryl Morey doesn't get his credit for he's going to get players. He's going to get players. We got George, we got Harden. He's given every opportunity it takes. And the thing is, you have to develop and have a better conditioning staff for Embiid. And it's time now. I know it's young players, but if y'all going to win a championship, Paul George is going to be good. I think we're going to be very surprised, and he's going to get Philly's love back again. Right now, he's on Philly's list. You know what I'm saying? He's on the Philadelphia list. You know what that means? Ask Mitch Williams, ask Theo Owens, ask Markelle Fultz, ask them all in future about being on the Philadelphia list. But he can get it back, though, because he's coming back to the team. And let's do it. Let's do it. I'm a Paul George fan. I think he doesn't like to be shortstop. His career says it. Look at his career numbers. He will come back, and it's going to be big. And the big thing is, no, we don't need him being the overworked guy. We need to see Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe, Edwards. We need all these we need these guys to come up. We need them to play. The potential was there. Edwards was a top 3 pick in high school, and he proved to everybody why he should have been drafted. Now prove to everybody why people thought you were going to be a top 10 lottery pick. You dig what I'm saying? Like, remember how we was rating Edwards right there, top 5, top 10. We were putting him there. Now, but look, he got the three-year contract. 3 years, and he's training with Maxey. They're having shootouts at practice. It's looking good, man. It's looking good because Maxey's a hell of a. I tell you what, in the locker room, he's priceless, man. He stays smiling. I don't know how guys stay smiling like this. Smiling, he gets everybody into it. He makes you want I need to learn how to smile like that. Like every time he come up, he's just very, very up. He's upping everybody. He's there. If he's in summer league, when he was in summer league there last year, he didn't even have to be there. He was upping people. He was hyped for people. It was like he's the perfect guy to be next to Embiid. He supports Embiid, even though he supports him, even though he spoke up. Don't think he's against Embiid. He spoke up last year. He was like, man, he was different, So they talked about it off the court. Man, that's not a problem. This is going to be a season. What we look for is a good season. We need the health, but more than health, we need to find out who, even if he's on the court, who's the next guys to help Embiid, even when he's on the court. Can you give it to somebody while Embiid is on the court and let them do it? Can you give it to somebody while Embiid and Maxey are on the court and let them handle some stuff? Then give it back to them because this player is getting shots because they focusing on Maxey and Embiid. We need everybody to eat. We need people to eat. So that's a championship team.
Yeah, I totally agree. And honestly, to that point about the youth, I think the Sixers, Daryl Morey, have done a better job of actually building a team that is built for two timelines than the Warriors, who keep talking about these two timelines. Like the Sixers might have one of the best young cores in the NBA, full stop, and they have an MVP and an All NBA guy on their team. Like that's as two timeline as it gets.
You said the Warriors, man. It's the same thing that happened to the Bulls. And you let them get too old. Yeah. You didn't focus on the future. Then the crazy part, this is my part on there. Where we talk, they had Moody, Kuminga, and James Wiseman. I want to know this. There's a certain coaches that develop players. They're good at developing players. Every staff has it. That's why they get young players. Where's the developers at? Where the coaching? How do you let a guy that was number one in the country? You had two guys that was considered number one. Kuminga was in a certain class. He was number one. Moody was number one. These are guys with exceptional talent. And the thing is, I want to say this. I want to say when you got a guy with potential, go somewhere, maybe his two things can get shot. The confidence and the coach he was with to make him better was not there. So now you got a guy going to start all over again. Look at James Wiseman. James Wiseman, like, he should have been the center of the future. He should have been the center of the future. You should have developed him. They didn't believe in him. Kuminga, it's problems with Kuminga. What's going on with that? Like, they just don't know how to, like, focus on a young team. And they're dissecting it by getting older players and not developing younger players. Like you said, Sixers did a great job. And it surprised me because getting McCain, seeing how good he is, Maxey, I mean, it's one thing to think a guy's going to be good, but to think they're going to be that good, that quick, the way Maxey did, and then McCain his first year, then you get a third overall pick to add to the young core. You get Johni Broome, who was a Player of the Year candidate, played good against Cooper Flagg when Auburn played Duke. Anybody know that played very good against Cooper Flagg? They have a good young core, very good to look at. They, guys like, well, I don't know if he's going to be with the Sixers. Hunter Salas was a guy they signed to a two-way deal, good in college. They know how to get young players, and then evaluate them. And I think, like you say, this team, young, looks good.
And for the shooting to be that legit in year one, like Maxey and McCain, they were end of the lottery or late first round picks, and they're year one 3-point snipers, good for 15 to 20 points a game.
Good play. I just think it's not being looked at too much how Morey has really drafted. Nick Nurse is the perfect piece of championship coach. You went from Doc Rivers. Okay, we had one championship coach. They said, okay, we're gonna get another one. When we get a replacement, we're gonna get another championship coach. Nick Morey is really trying, and out of nowhere, real secretly, man, all of a sudden you see these young guys like, oh, whoa, I didn't see them going that route, but they didn't have to like really tank. Last year they had a bad season. Guys got hurt. They got a number 3 overall pick. Maxey was late in the second round. Really, that was there it goes again. How you let him slip out the lottery? That was crazy. But
Jared, I remember wanting him on draft night. I remember like thinking, you never know with the draft. I wanted one guy that was a total bust, and then 2 guys that were all stars, and you just never know, I guess. But Orlando, in terms of Orlando's pick at like I think it was 15 or 16, ended up going with Cole Anthony, but they left Tyrese Maxey, Desmond Bane on the board. The other one was Pokusevski. I liked his potential. It didn't quite work, but that's the draft for you. But those were some flyers that you just never know. But I mean, you take a shot on the shooting, the skills, and super impressive that how good they are right away. And that just projects like the shooting ain't going anywhere. They're going to be lights out shooters for the next 10 years. So
Cole Anthony, man.
Yeah, Cole, man.
One you said I was real big on Cole Anthony. That was my guy, man. He said, but I thought this was going to be.
Yeah, it was number 1 at one point in the high school ranks too, and now he's got another shot with Giannis here in kind of a not so crowded backcourt. So maybe he'll get another opportunity as a starter here. But rooting for Cole for sure.
He's still solid. He's not a bust in terms of what the ceiling was. The ceiling was big, but he's still a solid guard. I mean, he's going to do his thing.
Yeah, I think he was Orlando's like most reliable 6-man floor raising bench point guard at the very least, and he could be a streaky 3-point shooter. He could run pick and rolls with good decision making, like a reliable old school point guard option that could also hit the three ball. Had some cool clutch moments, game winners. Fun time with Cole in Orlando. I got one last question here for you, leader, off on the Sixers. What do you think ends up happening this year? If you had to make a prediction, and also just what are the ultimately kind of the vibes like in Philly among the fans? What are the Philly fans most excited to see about this Sixers team?
Well, they're excited to see BJ.
Yeah.
They're excited to see BJ, what he's about. They're anticipating Embiid, man. They want it, and they want to see Paul George do his thing. If you're talking about the fans that they want to see, they're expecting to be in the playoffs every year. This is Philadelphia. So that they're looking like we got Paul George, Embiid get healthy. We got the number 3 overall pick, Maxey get healthy. They're expecting that. They want to see that. What they're excited about is BJ. They like BJ and they like Jared. Jared is talk about guys who's getting around the city. You know, VJ and Jared are getting the crowd. They're developing their culture among people, man. So it's big. What I expect from him, I expect him at the playoffs. I'm not even going past until I see this same season again. This guy's got Paul George can still score 30 on you. Paul George is Paul George. He's not Paul George 10 years ago, but he's still an all-star Paul George. That's scary. That's who he is. So now you have him around. Embiid, listen, this team playoffs. And I say champion, healthy, title contenders. Title contenders. Defense, these guys can do whatever. Paul George, they can do whatever. What are we talking about? Now, there's one thing you talked about, you said I want to say, because I think it's about the draft prospects. Anybody I've seen who I think of.
Oh yeah. We're talking so much Philly here. We skipped right over any prospects, on your radar in the NBA draft circles these days.
Woo, man. Oh, next year, draft is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. It's gonna be something to see who comes out. Cayenne is the guy I'm expecting to move up. Cayenne is gonna move up. He's gonna move up, man. He's the best shooter in that class. I said that when he was 16. I said he's gonna be the best shooter in this class. His shot is so confident, so jelly, man. It's there, man. It's so sweet.
You can see that touch from his dad, kind of just following him. And the one thing that stood out when I caught him live at that top 100 camp was the shooting touch, but it was his like uncanny ability for the bump and finish. Like he would just constantly draw the contact, force the contact, get a little bump, get the and one, and still finish, like swish every shot. So like nothing but net in terms of that.
It's just like his dad. His confidence, just like his dad. He know he can shoot. He know he can shoot on you. Like he's that guy. I really like him in his draft class. Gonna see a lot of guys. But one guy's coming up. Another class. I like Ryan Hampton. I like Marcus Spears Jr. I'm really liking Brandon McCoy. I like Mikel Brown, man, Jr.
Yeah.
Oh,
Olympics.
God.
He was a killer in those Olympics, man. Just killing him.
Oh, God, man. Shout out to his pop, yo. Them guys, Brandon McCoy is another guy. Look, it's a lot of good players in this draft, but Ryan Hampton, shout out to Ryan Hampton's popping. Their family's good. Shout out to RJ and them. Man, Ryan Hampton looks good. Marcus Spears, just talked to Marcus, his father the other day. Man, Marcus Spears Jr. is elevated. Like, he kind of surprised me by how explosive he could be, man. Like, Jesus Christ. This new class is coming up, AJ. It's gonna be something to see this class. I want to see how he does at BYU, man. BYU is gonna be. It's interesting to see the guys they get. Now the new recruits they getting. That new coaching staff is going to work. I'm gonna shout out BYU because them guys is going to work. They're getting guys to come there, so it's been good. But I think Ryan.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, Ryan Hampton and Marcus Spears Jr. are two guys who I'm just looking at, and Michael Brown Jr. and Brandon McCoy. Them are 4 guys I'm looking at that's crazy right now. And then you got the who's going to be the number 1 pick? Oh man, that's a fight right now because the Boozer boys are good. Only one boozer for number 1, but it's always AJ Boozer and so many. It's like a 4-way going on, man. It's a 4-way going on. I would like
we
to,
got Darren Peterson now looking electric.
Oh my God, man! You know what? But I still say AJ number one. That's my number one still. Like
All right.
Darren is unbelievable, man. But AJ, God, do you see how easy he make moves look? This man run through, he shake you, boom, and talk mess to you. He's. I mean, but it's an edge though. It's by edge that he's over Darren. It's a by edge, man. But it's really it's going to be a good class coming up. I think the lottery is going to be more talented than this lottery that just passed. I think this draft will be just about better. But my guy to look at that question is Brian Hampton, Marcus Spears Jr., Brandon McCoy, and Michael Brown Jr. Those are my guys. And I like Arkansas. Listen, Arkansas, you know who's not getting the exposure that it's supposed to get? Arkansas is going to have a backcourt next year. It's going to be super crazy.
Yes, sir. Don't have to tell me. A Cuff and Malik Thomas, man.
My guy, shout out to Malik. Yo, that's my guy. Listen, number one player in PA. Listen, are you sick? Nobody's talking enough about that backcourt because we be talking about Mikel Brown Jr. Of course, we're moving him up on boards. He deserved to be moved up. But man, we are not talking about a Cuff and Thomas. And these guys were impressive every time they went. They went to USA. Like, watch out for them two. Those two, Malik Thomas, Darius Cuff Jr.
Absolutely. I mean, a Cuff, just a knockdown 3-point sniper. And I mean, Malik Thomas is like as walking of a bucket as you can find. It reminded me a little of like Jamal Crawfordy in that sense where he can rise and fire for any shot, any angle. And it's a good look for that guy. So you combine that with the old school Kentucky guard stereotype, now Arkansas guard stereotype playing for Calipari. Maybe gets a little bit of that like high pedigree profile. I'm with you. I mean, you throw out some great names here, some great names of high profile prospects. Every name you listed, it looks like a legit talent for the upcoming drafts, and can't wait to see how. I agree. I think next year's class is as loaded as we've seen in a long time. Between the top three, the lottery, the depth. I mean, come on.
High school classes, I want to say my women and men. This is something, women and men, high school basketball, 27 and 2028 look crazy. 2029, Harlan McNeil, number one point guard. Look at that guy, man. Look at this guy, Jim Jones' nephew. Look at this guy. This guy's good. This guy's good.
We got to do it. Well, I appreciate it, man. Those are some great names to keep an eye on. I mean, that Marcus Spears, super highly touted. Father's on ESPN, of course. If you can catch him with the analysis, and it's cool to see that. Like he's been number one in his class for a while now. Tyron Stokes is kind of up there too a little bit. He's a high flyer.
Real quick, I'm sorry, Ryan. Marcus Spears' daughter is killing it with Texas Valley Ball. He's a dad. Marcus Spears, we got to support in their dad, always there for his son. And shout out to the wife who was also an athlete, also played in the WNBA. Listen, man, shout out to y'all, the Spears family doing their thing. Shout out to the Hampton family. So I want to say, man, it's good to shout out families, man. Shout out to Jason Crow Jr. Shout out to the families doing their thing, man.
Absolutely. And just thought of Dylan Mingo and one of those classes, really, really impressive athlete as well, comes to mind. But man, just a ton of great talent here. Can't wait to see all of it at the high school level and kind of see there's some fun like pairings of random talent. Like Houston has a fun class, Kingston Flemings and CNAC, popping in. You got obviously the Boozers at Duke, got Kentucky, Darren Peterson, you got Utah with DeBonsa and Xavier Staten. To your point about recruiting, I mean, they got Staten to come play with DeBonsa in high school, and now both going to college together at BYU. There's some chemistry, could be impressive. I mean, great class of talent. Is there any projects, anything you want to give a shout here before we get off, and you want to plug anything? Thanks a lot for taking the time today, leader. It's been cool just diving into Philly sports and your process.
No question. It's been great, Ryan. It's been great on the show. I just want to check me out, High Level Sports, high-levelsports.com. Check me out on vusports.com. Always got stuff going there. In the NFL draft room, a lot of things going on in the NFL draft room. Draft prospects, prep hoops. Catch me on prep hoops. My podcast, High Level Sports Talk, Volley to Sports, and Who's Flyer Than the Flyer. That's my Flyers podcast. Man, I'm just trying to stay busy. Also, I have the November the 14th. We're doing a live stream of the Jake Paul Gervonta Davis fight. If anybody you want to promote your brand, come through, talk there. Ron, we should have you there. Come through, talk, look at the fight, say a couple of things, man, for a round. You know, a lot of people is going to be a lot of special guests are coming. Y'all going to see a lot of special guests pop up on there. So y'all want to stay in tune for that. Broad Street Blitz Take, my Eagles podcast, man. Cool Cat, shout out to them, all the birds of Broad Street. Man, Hardcore Sports Network, man. We doing our thing, man.
Hey, all things Philly sports. You got to find it with Leader Johnson there. One parting thought that I kind of skipped over earlier. Is there any one attribute, skill that you look for in a prospect that sells you like, oh, that's going to be an NBA guy because he has X or because he has Y?
Good one. You know what? It's the look. When I look at a prospect, I got to see how comfortable he is in scoring, and playing, like BJ. We see how comfortable. One thing I see, he's comfortable in doing what he's doing. He's excelled. He's moving without the ball. It's all about how comfortable he is in his shot, how comfortable he is shooting, how confident he is shooting. His footwork, how quick is he? When he makes the pass, is he using that extra tunnel vision? How's he making that pass? Is he making people better? Is he impacting his whole team with how he plays? If you're looking for a shooter, it depends on what form and what you're looking for. But if you're looking for an NBA prospect, it's simply looking to see how he's playing, how evolved he's playing on the court. How evolved is he? Then you compare to the other prospects. How evolved is he? Is his shot pure? Is he making his moves quick? Does it look like he's thinking too much? If you're thinking too much, that means you don't know what you want to do, and you're not there yet. Guys like Cooper Flag, AJ, when they make their move, they're going to give you 2-3 seconds to recognize them. If you ain't did that in 2 or 3 seconds, they're going to go past you. You're going to be gone. Light speed, like that, that's it. Because they're ready to play. As soon as they get the ball in their hand, they already are looking at the goal. Because if you're a basketball player, know this. Learn to look at the basket without the ball. Don't look at the ball. And they're already going to make their shot. They're going to take their time. They're going to be in a hurry. And they're going to get you. That's what you're looking for. These guys evolved enough to step up right away. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, and it brings me to a nice quote to end on from Kobe. Confidence comes from preparation, which leads into that confidence, that comfortability of seeing a player. They look comfortable out there when they have the reps to back it up, where they've done it 1,000 times, and where the games become as easy as the practice, because that's the level that you practice at. So just kind of reminds me a little bit of that, and just the work ethic behind preparation.
Right. Follow me on Twitter, man. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Facebook, man. Y'all, man, it's great being here, man. Ryan, you're one of the best out here. I definitely respect your work, honor your work, man. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to
Appreciate
Theory, man. Love y'all, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks a lot, Leader. You got to check out his work at WriterLeader247 on Twitter. So many outlets, all things Philly sports, NBA draft, Villanova, Sixers. Check out Leader's work. Thanks a lot for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
With Ryan.
Learning Basketball is a Swish Theory podcast hosted from Beyond the Arcade. Hey, that's me. You can find my work on Twitter, YouTube, Substack, and check out the team's writing at theswishtheory.com.